I'm Chris.
I'm Elin.
And this is Single Dad Homestead, brought to you from South Dakota. Guys, we're still here. Look, it looks like I'm still dressed in the same clothes, but this shirt is the only long sleeve shirt I brought, and it's not cold, but the wind gets a little cool when you're doing stuff. So where are we going today, Elin?
We are going to Crazy Horse.
Yeah, we're going to go see Crazy Horse Monument today, Memorial, and we're going to go have some fun with that and just enjoy the day together. Buddy stayed with Ivan and Yelena. They're sleeping today, but he's able to stay and be out for most of the day. And at a lot of the memorials, the dogs can go up, but then you can't go in to do any of the museums, or you can't go into the bookstores or anything like that, so the gift shops. So we chose to let him stay with Ivan and Yelena because, well, we have that option on this part of the trip. So we will be here for a few more days, so you're going to get some more videos from here. You got Badlands that'll be coming up, and then maybe just a random video or something. I'd like to wish Ivan a happy birthday, so if all y'all throw a happy birthday on here, which should be his birthday when we're done. And
put a happy birthday hat emoji.
A happy birthday hat emoji, Elin says. She said the hearts were awesome last time, by the way, too.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's our plans for the day. We'll get back with you guys when we get there and show you what we're doing. So have a good day until we see you again. All right, guys, we made it to Crazy Horse right there. And we have gotten here on one of the weekends to where they let you hike all the way up. And we got, as usual, with our luck, we came in, we got here about an hour before 1 o'clock, which was the end of registration, and lightning actually shut us down. So we didn't get to do the hike, so it's open tomorrow, but I doubt we'll make it back for that. So we're just gonna go do the regular thing, get some beautiful pictures and stuff, and we'll be back as we go. Elin's a little sad, but that's all right. So hang with us, we'll be back in a minute.
All right, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Crazy Horse Memorial. My name is Whitney Rencounter II, and I'd like to welcome you to our presentation. For the next 45 minutes or so, my wife, my daughters, and I, we're going to share a little bit about our traditional dances and some of the history of our people in this land. Paha Sapa, or Sapa Makoche, our word for the beautiful Black Hills, the birthplace of our ancestors and our people. But I'm going to start out with the opening song at this time, so thank you for joining us. warning, if it does start raining, it's mandatory that you stay seated. Some of you need the shower. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us here today. We're going to go ahead and get started here. Our people are known as the Ocheti Shakoi, the 7 council fires. We are made up of the dialects of Lakota, Dakota, and Nakota. Those are the 3 language dialects of our people. And the only difference, for example, is like, for example, if you say the word friend, in Lakota you say kola. Can everybody say kola?
Cola.
Coca-Cola got that their word from us. So just to be on that. But nonetheless, if you're Dakota, you replace the L with the D, and you would say koda with the D. Say koda. If you're Nakota, same thing. You replace the N with the LD. You say kona.
Kona.
All right. So that's the 3 language dialects of our people. That's just one tribe. We have over 600 different tribes throughout the nation at one time. One of my late grandfathers, Vine Deloria, talks about, he's a historian, and at one time there's over 100 million indigenous peoples in this beautiful land. And our people, we are famous for hunting the bison. We utilize the bison. And at one time there was 30 to 60 million bison that lived here at one time. When the first settlers came through our land, they said when they came across the first big herds, they had to stop and wait for one herd to go by. They had to wait for 8 days. How many of you could wait 3 seconds at a stoplight? 80,000 bison in one herd. And so when we hunted the bison, we utilized every part of the animal. Food, clothing, shelter, every part of the bison was used for something. So that's why today our people, sometimes you come to Rapid City or you go to a city, a lot of times you'll find a lot of the natives, we will be at Walmart. Because it's historically in us to get everything at one place. The buffalo, the bison. But nonetheless, our ancestors, we love this beautiful land. There are many sacred sites throughout the land here. And one of those is Black Elk Peak, right over here by Sylvan Lake. We would hike to the top of Black Elk Peak and we would welcome back the Wakia Oyate. Every spring we welcome back the rain because it replenishes Grandmother Earth and brings life back to our beautiful land. And so, historically, a lot of the stories that take place in this beautiful place. But nonetheless, one thing that changed our relationship to this land was the arrival of General George Armstrong Custer. Custer came to the Black Hills, and Custer wanted to become the next president of the United States. So when he came to the Black Hills, he found gold in the Black Hills, so the gold rush began. One of the things that took place was in 1851, our ancestors signed an agreement with the United States government called the 1851 Fort Laramie Treaty. And this preserved and protected the land here. And so by law, when Custer came here to the land, the government already deemed this place, this area, east bank of the Missouri River, down to the Bighorn Mountains, over here through Cannonball River. This was our land by law. So when Custer found gold, the gold rush began, and we could no longer stay here because we were sent to the reservations. And so nonetheless, that began a lot of changes that took place in this land. So the United States passed the Black Hills Act, which essentially offered money to buy the Black Hills from our ancestors. But to this day, our people have never taken that money, and we've never signed that agreement to sell the Black Hills. Thank you. Okay, so everybody stand up and head on inside the covered porch. We will pick up the rest of the presentation. And
all right, guys, this was going to be a long video. We did a whole video of some Native American people from the Lakota tribes doing some singing and stories, and I've included that, so I hope you guys don't mind. I'll make a little excerpt to put in here, and I really hope you guys enjoy that. what I'd like to say, and me and Elon were discussing this when it was going on, when he was telling the story, and what I'd like you to take from his story when he's talking about grandfather being baptized and not knowing what's going on. If you're the type of person that shoves Jesus Christ down someone's throat, you're doing more evil than you are good. Remember to win someone's heart and soul and be kind and loving and let Christ bring them to him. Because if you're someone that's baptizing someone multiple times and pushing their head under, like in his story, you're doing a bigger injustice than you are by being a good human being and speaking to them and winning them over for Christ. So if that's you, I'm sorry, you're wrong. So we're going to get off of here, and we'll be back with the closing in just a second.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll pick back up where we left off. And once again, the Black Hills Act essentially took away the Black Hills from our ancestors and gave money in exchange. But to this day, our people have never signed that agreement. So what took place after this time was General George Armstrong Custer and the 7th Cavalry came through in what we call the Battle of Little Bighorn, right up here in Montana area. So Crazy Horse, Sitting Bull, and the leaders of our ancestors, they met Custer at the Battle of Little Bighorn, June 25th, 1876. And during that time, they were victorious in that battle that ensued. And so, just be careful, those of you that are by the window, for the, looks like there's some hail coming down, so we just want to make sure everybody's safe over on that side. All right. Okay, so with that, ladies and gentlemen, during this time, a lot of the reservations were established. And, all right. I don't know, Kevin, do you know how to pull down the windows there? Okay, we're going to see if we can pull down these glass windows here, just so we'll make sure everybody's safe out here. But there's, nonetheless, just make sure no one gets close to the windows with the hail.
It's not going to hurt us.
All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Okay, so, nonetheless,
look.
Our ancestors continued on. I'm just going to make sure that,
yeah, 1, 2, 3, I bet the solar panels on the truck are doing well.
3, 4. So 1883 is around the time that our people were moved to reservations. And when we were living on reservations, a lot of our ancestors did not understand English. So a lot of missionaries came to the reservations to teach English and to establish the relationships during that transition time. And so they asked my grandfather to go to church. So my grandfather in our reservation was one of the first ones to go to church. And next thing you know it, Grandpa, he was going to church every time they had service. He was always over there. And after a while we said, Grandpa, you don't understand English, so why do you go to church every time? And in our language, Grandpa said, I go to church because every time they have service, when they're done, they serve us a lot of good food. So one day, they said, the whole folks from the church, the procession, they came to see Grandpa at the house. And they let us know that there was a special day coming up just for Grandfather. And so they told us to get ready. And so everybody dressed really nice. Everybody got ready. And so just then, we all went down to the river because we lived by the Missouri River. Next thing you know it, they took Grandpa and they walked him into the water. And we were watching. We didn't know what was happening. Next thing you know it, they dumped Grandpa in the water. And they pulled him up. And they said, did you see the Lord? Grandpa's looking around, and so he didn't understand English. So the interpreters had to explain to them. And so Grandpa said, Hiya! No. So they dumped him again. pulled him up. Did you see the Lord? Grandpa's looking around. Here! So they dumped him a third time. This time they held him down a little bit longer. Grandma's getting worried. They pulled him up. Did you see the Lord? Grandpa said, here! They were going to dunk him a fourth time. But this time Grandpa said, in our language, he was saying, hold on. Wait a minute. Are you sure this is where he fell in? So the interpreters had to explain that he got a great blessing that day. But see, that's a long time ago. We don't really understand one another. So there's a lot of misunderstanding throughout history. And so that's why my wife and I, you know, growing up on the reservation, I didn't really learn a lot about the history of our ancestors. Because in the schools, they don't talk about what took place to our ancestors and why the Black Hills were overtaken, why many of the land was overtaken, and so why the buffalo, the bison, there was 30 to 60 million, and then in the late 1800s, there was less than 1,000 left. And so a lot of these things they do not teach to us and help us to understand. And so, wow, in our language we say makaju, that's rain. So Grandmother Earth is replenishing our land and helping to kind of restore some of the balance that we have. We don't have any control over the rain. And there's also our people. One misconception is people think that we have a rain dance, but we don't have a rain dance, especially in the northern plains. That's a misconception about our people. And so while we're waiting for the dancers, so my wife and my children, they're coming from the stage. There's a little closet or a dressing room. So they're going to make their way in here eventually, but because of the hail and the rain, it might take them a little bit. So in the meantime, I'm going to share with you another song while we're waiting.
Yeah, and it's good.
Okay, so here they come, ladies and gentlemen. The dancers are making their way into the area, the space that we have here. Let's give them a warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Woo! It's cold. It's cold.
So I'm going to introduce our daughter, Mela, and my daughter's going to get set up with the hoop the hoops at this time. We're going to start out with the hoop dance. And Mila, she's 6 years old, and she started hoop dancing a couple of summers ago out here. And so now she's started out, that first year she started out with one hoop. And now she's worked her way up to several hoops that she's going to be sharing. But when she's dancing, you can watch the different designs. She might make the design of a flower, or maybe an eagle, or she might make Grandmother Earth. She might show different styles, and there's many different styles of hoop dancing across the nation. It's become a popular dance amongst our people, especially the children. And so we're really excited that she's going to be able to share this particular style of hoop dancing with each and every one of you. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're ready for the hoop dance, make some noise. Here we go. All right, so here we go. She's going to go ahead and get the hoops set up and all ready to go. And I'm going to get a song ready to go for her. And once again, she's laying out her hoops. And throughout this performance, it looks like she's going to be utilizing about 10 or 11 hoops here today. So, all right. Okay, so Mila is all set and all ready to go. As you can see, she's excited, and you know, last year during the pandemic, she participated. Here we go. I think we're all set. The song is ready. Ladies and gentlemen, hoop dance time. Make some noise. Here we go. more time, Mila Redcounter. All right, at this time, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go into, I'm going to share with you, my wife comes from the Hunkpapa Lakota, the Standing Rock Nation, and my wife here, she went to college at Black Hills State University, got her bachelor's degree, and then she went to South Dakota State University and got her master's, and she's been a school counselor for the last 15 years. And last month, she made a decision to hang up her school counseling boots, and she now is a full-time author. She wrote 4 children's books, and she won the 2000 Great Plains Emerging Tribal Writers Award for her first book. Let's give a warm welcome to Jessie, Take It Alive, Red Pepper.
Alright, I'm beto washte. Jonte washe na betu zapi, which achbi tupi wina, Jesse taken alive ren hunter imachiapi. Huk papa Lakota imataha. What I said to you today in my Lakota language is good day. I greet you all with a heartfelt handshake. My Lakota name is Wichachbi Tumpiwi, which means woman who was born from the stars. My English name, like my husband said, is Jessie. My maiden last name is Taken Alive, and my married last name is Rencounter. I come to you from the band of Lakota called the Hunkpapa Lakota, Sitting Bulls people. I grew up on the reservation, North Central South Dakota, all my life, a reservation called Standing Rock, the Sioux tribe up there. My husband probably shared with you, we like to call ourselves the Lakota people versus Sioux, right? And so when I was a young girl, my late grandfather, he talked to us about the importance of attaining a college education as well as balancing our life and knowing our culture as Lakota people. I took his advice, went off to college many years ago, met a handsome young man there at Black Hills State University. My freshman year, his sophomore year, I kind of miss him. I'm just kidding. My handsome husband and I have been married. We just celebrated our 21st wedding anniversary back in We have a great time together. We like to tease each other a lot. We have 4 beautiful daughters, ages 20, 15, 13, and 6. All girls, I did say that correct. I do dye my hair. So, but we've traveled all throughout the world, in fact. Doing what you're seeing here today, we share the history, we share our modern day culture with people because we believe it's important for us to do that as Lakota people. We also travel extensively throughout the United States and Canada, attending many different powwows. My 4 daughters and I, we all dance. My husband, he sings with various championship drum groups, but for the past year or so, he has another talent that he has. He's a multi-talented man, but he also serves as the master of ceremonies at many of these big championship powwows. And so we travel throughout. How many of you guys have ever attended a powwow before? Show of hands. There's a few people out there in the crowd. I'm not surprised that there's not more people that haven't raised their hand because there's a couple misconceptions about powwows. The first misconception is people think you have to be Native American to attend a powwow, which is false. Everybody's welcome to our powwows. In fact, we want to invite you all to our powwows to spectate, watch our dances, listen to our songs. The second misconception is people think that it's some type of religious gathering, which is also false as well. Powwows are more of our social gatherings. It's where we dance, we have fun, we eat food. Because most powwows today are now competitive, we even dance and compete against each other for tens of thousands of dollars at one powwow, based on our age category as well as our dance style. Now, if you were to go to a powwow, you would realize that there's 3 main categories for us female dancers. We're going to showcase to you my favorite dance category today. It's called the Jingle dress. Now, the Jingle dress is traditionally not a Lakota style of dance. Actually, it derives to us from our neighboring tribes over to the east. We know them as the Anishinaabe. You've probably heard of them as the Ojibwe people. There's slightly different versions on how the story goes of how this dress came to their people. I'm going to share the version that was shared with me from my good friend. She's an Ojibwe jingle dress dancer, as well as the great-granddaughter of the first original jingle dress dancer. The story says that 102 years ago, to be exact, there was a little Anishinaabe girl by the name of Maggie White. Now, Maggie was very ill and very sickly. It was an illness that was sweeping the world, and nobody knew what types of natural medicines to give them. They said Maggie was so ill, so weak, they were scared that her life would be cut short. Her grandfather, he asked Creator to take pity on his granddaughter. He wanted her to live a long, full life. He was given a dream, and in this dream, he was shown a dress. And on this dress hung different objects. He was told that if they were able to make this dress for his granddaughter and have her dance in it, these objects on this dress would hit together and they would make a very beautiful sound that would bring healing to his granddaughter. When he awoke, he realized that this dream had been a reoccurring dream throughout his whole life since he was a young boy. He shared with his family, instructed his female relatives on how to make this dress. They made the dress. Maggie was so ill and so weak that they had to help her stand. They had to help her dress. And they said that when the singers started singing on their drums, they even helped Maggie dance. They were standing on each side of her with her arms out like this, holding her up to the beat of the drum. And they said that as the song progressed, that Maggie got stronger and stronger, and soon she started dancing on her own. They said that by time the end of this evening was done and all the songs were done, they said that Maggie was healed. From that day, this dress has been known as the medicine dress or the healing dress. Maggie did go on to live a long life, becoming a mother, grandmother, even a great-grandmother, passing away in the early 1990s. But when she was first healed as a young girl, the story of her dress, the story of the dance and her healing, it spread like wildfire all across the United States and throughout Canada amongst hundreds of different tribes. Many of our tribes, including our Lakota people, we've adopted this into our own culture. A lot of people will ask, if this is a medicine dress or a healing dress, why do you utilize this at your powwows for competition social dancing? Which is a fair question, but even the Anishinaabe Ojibwe women who also use this at powwows will say, you know, it doesn't matter where you're dancing. You can be at one of their Ojibwe jingle dress healing ceremonies. You can be at a powwow or even a presentation like today. When a young girl or a woman puts on this style of dress and she dances, healing energy still comes from this dress. Those young ladies and women who are honored to wear this style of dress, they always make sure that they remember first and foremost the origin and the purpose of this dress. So they carry themselves in a good way. Especially, they watch their thoughts when they're dancing, because they never know who's going to receive that healing from their dance. So just like anything throughout time over life, you know, the jingle dress has evolved, and now we have two styles of the jingle dress. We have what we call the old style, original style dancers, where they dance a very beautiful, very graceful style. There's nothing too fancy about their feet work. You know, they kind of just shuffle their feet a little bit. We also have the contemporary jingle dress dancers where they like to get really fancy with their footwork. I have a really good friend who's the 8-time jingle dress world champion. She even incorporates the moonwalk into her jingle dress dancing. So that kind of tells you how it's evolved over the years. But we do have an original old style jingle dress dancer with us today. We have our daughter Sophia here, who's 15 years old. I'm going to call her out here to the front. Sophia's going to share with us 2 songs today. The first song, if you were to go to a powwow, this is what we call a straight song. Their opportunity to show off how graceful they are as a dancer, as the original old style dancers. The second song is called the side step. You want to stick around for that one because that's the original type of dance that this dress belongs to. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and go to song number 1. If you're ready for some jingle dress dancing, go ahead and welcome to the stage, Sophia.
And the song number 2, ladies and gentlemen, is a jingle dress sidestep, the original style of dance. It's a beautiful style, and we're excited that Sophia is here to share it with each and every one of you. Once again, round of applause. Here we go. Song number 2. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you've been such a great crowd. We're going to share something special with each and every one of you. If everybody could come on up and make a big circle on the outside of the room and face the center. So line up beside my daughters here and go all the way around the outside of the room. Move out to the outskirts of the room and face the center. Make one big giant circle and work together. Come in front of the speakers right here in front of me.
All right, guys, this is closing. I hope you enjoyed all this. I know it was long, but Crazy Horse behind us. Crazy Horse. How did you like it, Elin? How did you like it?
I'd really like it, but I'm holding Crazy Horse.
You're holding Crazy Horse. That's awesome. You're holding his hand. Will be out there.
Wait, what?
That's the horse's head you're holding right now. All right, guys. So as always, God bless.
Whatever God gives you.
And we're out of here. Buddy says bye. See ya.